Awakening the Inner Light, Rediscovering the True Self Amid Life's Chaos. A practical guide to reclaiming the true self in everyday life. Friends, have you ever pondered the root of life's confusions, anxieties, or even that lingering sense of unease? At their core, these challenges often arise from being distanced from the essence of who we truly are, our true self. In this video, we'll dive into practical ways to awaken your inner light and reconnect with your true self in the midst of everyday life. If this resonates with you, please subscribe and click the bell icon for more inspiring content. Imagine life as a fan spinning at an immense speed. When the fan spins so fast, we no longer see the blades. They blur, seeming to disappear entirely. Yet, as the fan slows, we begin to discern each blade, and at a complete standstill, we can observe every detail with clarity. Our consciousness behaves in much the same way. When caught up in the rapid, constant flow of life, with its distractions, demands, and ambitions, our awareness of the true self fades, becoming distant like those spinning blades. But when we quiet the mind and settle into stillness, the spin of distractions slows down, and we reconnect with the deeper aspects of who we are, accessing an inner clarity often overlooked in our daily hustle. In its purest, highest state, consciousness exists as a radiant and invisible light, which we might call ever-radiant light. This light doesn't refer to ordinary visible light. Instead, it vibrates at such a high frequency that it forms the foundation of existence itself, something akin to a universal energy. As this energy descends in frequency, it condenses to create the perceivable world around us, first becoming visible light, then condensing further until it takes on the form of matter. Matter, in this sense, is simply light at its slowest, densest frequency, a solidification of pure energy that we experience through the senses. However, when our consciousness becomes fixated on these lower, denser frequencies, it's as though we are gazing only at the outermost layer of a great, multidimensional reality. We begin to mistake this visible layer, the material world, for the whole truth. As a result, we feel bound by materiality, trapped in the relentless pursuit of things that appear to promise happiness and satisfaction but seldom fulfill us on a deeper level. This material fixation distracts us from our true nature, creating a cycle where we chase fleeting comforts and external validations rather than tuning into the vast, timeless presence within. When we refocus inward, quiet the mind, and slow that fan of consciousness, we step closer to that original light of our true self, the source of true peace and lasting joy. The distinction between the true self and the false self. In our dualistic world, everything seems divided into opposites: light and dark, positive and negative, real and false. Just as there are external contrasts, we have internal ones as well. The true self, the core of our being rooted in consciousness, awareness, and creativity, represents our most authentic, unchanging nature. In many spiritual traditions, this inner essence is known as the Buddha nature, or the soul. It is a part of us that exists beyond ego, untouched by praise or criticism, desire or fear. The true self is aligned with peace, intuition, and a natural sense of wholeness. It feels complete without the need to seek validation or fulfillment from anything outside. In contrast, the false self, the ego, is shaped by external forces, clinging to labels, identities, and ideas that shift and change over time. The false self is like a mask we wear, built from societal expectations, insecurities, and a constant desire to seek approval or avoid disapproval. It is the part of us that is quick to defend, justify, and react, endlessly trying to prove our worth in the eyes of others. This ego-driven self craves certainty and validation, creating a fragile foundation that can be disrupted at any moment by external circumstances. Consider this question: am I truly who I think I am? If we dig deeper, we may find that many of our thoughts, emotions, and reactions stem not from the true self but from the needs and fears of the false self. Imagine, for example, that you were mistakenly admitted to a psychiatric hospital. In such a situation, how would you prove your sanity? No matter how eloquently you try to explain or protest, no amount of rational argument would likely convince those around you. Instead, it's your calm presence, the depth of your awareness, and your ability to simply be that might eventually reveal your true state. This need to prove oneself, to constantly affirm our identity or worth, is the hallmark of the false self. It's an endless cycle of justifications and explanations that rarely brings peace or satisfaction. The true self, by contrast, is free of this compulsion. It exists in a quiet confidence that requires no external validation, resting in the wisdom that our existence is enough in itself. When we learn to recognize the false self and its attempts to control or define us, we can gently release its grip and remember that our deepest truth lies not in what we present to the world, but in the silent, unshakable presence within us. In coming back to this essence, we reconnect with a profound simplicity. We are at our best, most true and most alive not when we are proving ourselves, but when we simply are fully present, aware, and aligned with our inner nature. In those moments, we realize that the true self requires no defenses, no justifications, and no pretense. It simply is, and that is enough. Reconnecting with the true self. In today's fast-paced world, society often urges us to conform, to fit neatly into predefined roles, labels, and expectations. From a young age, we are taught to measure ourselves by external standards, success, popularity, wealth, or status, often at the cost of our individuality. Gradually, this shaping can mask or even bury our true self, replacing it with conditioned responses aimed at pleasing others or living up to ideals that aren't truly ours. Many of us find ourselves in a cycle of mere survival, caught up in an endless loop of trying to fulfill expectations, leaving us feeling disconnected, exhausted, and empty. In this state, it's easy to lose sight of the deeper, authentic self, and we miss the sense of freedom, peace, and joy that comes from living in alignment with our true nature. The true self, however, remains quietly present beneath all the layers of conditioning, aligned with our unique gifts, values, and life purpose. This part of us is intrinsically wise, compassionate, and connected to a source of joy and fulfillment that does not depend on external approval. Recognizing the true self is like hearing a calm and steady voice that speaks from within, guiding us gently, free of judgment or fear. It emerges in those moments of inner peace, when we're engaged in something that resonates deeply with us, purely for the sake of it, with no thought of reward or recognition. The true self is often felt as a deep sense of contentment, a kind of quiet joy that arises when we are simply being present with ourselves and our lives. In contrast, the mind's voice, the voice of the ego and conditioned self, is often noisy, restless, and endlessly driven by comparisons, the pursuit of status, or fear of inadequacy. This voice can be persuasive, always seeking approval or validation, forever measuring us against others, or reminding us of what we lack. When we identify with this voice, life can feel like a relentless struggle to keep up, to prove, and to please. When we engage in activities that are in harmony with our true self, the experience is entirely different. These moments feel sustained, peaceful, and nourishing rather than depleting. The motivation comes from within, not from the desire to be seen or acknowledged by others. It is as if we tap into an inner wellspring of energy and creativity, flowing freely and effortlessly. In these moments, we are so absorbed in what we are doing that time seems to melt away, and the activity itself becomes its own reward. There's no need for comparison, no fear of failure, only a feeling of wholeness, peace, and alignment. Reconnecting with the true self is like returning home. It is remembering our intrinsic worth and that our deepest fulfillment arises from living in harmony with who we truly are, not from trying to be what we think we should be. By nurturing this connection, we can reclaim our lives, filling them with meaning, purpose, and a deep-seated joy that radiates from within, unaffected by the fleeting changes of the world around us. Discovering your purpose as a path to the true self. Living in alignment with your purpose is one of the most profound ways to connect with your true self. Purpose is not just about having a goal or fulfilling a role in society. It is the expression of your innermost being, the reason you feel drawn to certain paths, experiences, or creations. When you pursue something with genuine love, curiosity, and enthusiasm, a feeling that originates from deep within, you're likely in tune with your true self. This inner drive brings a sense of peace, joy, and fulfillment that transcends external rewards and is entirely different from the fleeting satisfaction that comes from meeting expectations or achieving external success. In contrast, if you find yourself motivated by a sense of duty, fear, or the desire to meet others' expectations, it may be a sign that the false self, the part of you conditioned by society, insecurities, and learned fears, is steering the course. This false self seeks validation and security by pleasing others, following social norms, or pursuing paths that may not resonate with who you truly are. Operating from this place can often feel like a never-ending chase, leaving you drained and unfulfilled. Discovering your true purpose, however, is less about searching for something external and more about responding to an inner calling. True purpose is already within you. It is not something you need to chase. Instead, it unfolds naturally as you become more attuned to your own desires, strengths, and values. It resonates with the quiet, inner knowing of what genuinely brings you joy and fulfillment. When you're in tune with your purpose, it feels like stepping into a natural flow, much like a river following its course without force or effort. You're guided by an inner compass that aligns you with experiences, opportunities, and people that support this purpose, allowing your life to take shape in an organic, meaningful way. Rather than an endpoint, true purpose is a journey, a series of choices that continually bring you closer to your authentic self. This path may evolve as you grow, but as long as you're attuned to the call within, you'll find that each step feels right and meaningful. Following this purpose brings a profound sense of alignment and fulfillment, reconnecting you with your true self and bringing a sense of peace and belonging to your journey through life. Life as an experience, not an attachment. As we journey through life, we often seek meaning in our experiences, whether it's through the pursuit of wealth, the comfort of family, or the expansion of knowledge. These goals can indeed add richness to our story, yet they are ultimately part of a personal narrative we construct. When we come to understand this, a remarkable freedom emerges. We realize that life's events, both joyful and challenging, are not something to cling to but something to witness and embrace as part of our unfolding experience. This perspective allows us to become observers of our lives, seeing each moment for what it is without becoming entangled in its twists and turns. Being an observer doesn't imply apathy or detachment. Rather, it means embracing each experience fully, without letting it define or control us. Imagine standing by a river. You can appreciate the flow, the turbulence, the quiet pools, each part of the river's story, without feeling the need to jump in and be carried away by its current. Similarly, observing life with a mindful presence allows us to experience the beauty and depth of each moment without identifying with every thought, emotion, or outcome. Take, for instance, the challenge of a painful breakup. When attachment persists, our energy often becomes fixated on the loss, cycling through memories, what-ifs, and a longing for resolution. This attachment can feel like being stuck in quicksand, pulling us further from peace and preventing us from moving forward. Yet by acknowledging the pain and consciously letting go, we can release this hold, freeing ourselves to reconnect with the present moment. This release isn't about dismissing the experience. It's about seeing it as part of life's natural ebb and flow, rather than a state of being we must remain trapped in. For some, life's challenges become catalysts for growth and understanding, serving as teachers that help elevate consciousness. These individuals find strength in adversity, using it to deepen their resilience and expand their awareness. For others, difficulties can feel overwhelming, pulling them into a cycle of distress and reinforcing feelings of powerlessness. By learning to observe rather than attach, we transform our relationship with these experiences. They become part of a larger tapestry of growth rather than burdens we carry. This shift not only brings peace but also offers a foundation for living with greater balance and wisdom, empowering us to navigate life's inevitable ups and downs with grace and insight. In choosing to see life as an experience rather than something to control or cling to, we open ourselves to a profound sense of liberation. We begin to live more fully and authentically, cultivating a deep appreciation for every moment while remaining centered in our true nature. This way of living not only enriches our personal journey but also connects us more meaningfully with the world around us, allowing us to engage in life wholeheartedly, free from the chains of attachment. Finding the way home. Our life experiences, whether filled with joy or adversity, serve as subtle guides, leading us back to the true self. This journey isn't about improving life in a material or conventional sense. It's about uncovering the path home to our inner light, to the essence of who we truly are. The wisdom of ancient masters and enlightened teachers echoes through time, reminding us that life is ultimately a journey of dissolution, a gradual shedding of attachments, fears, and illusions that obscure our radiant, timeless nature. The true self is beyond time and form. It is always present, unwavering, and infinitely expansive, holding within it a profound peace and unconditional love. Yet, in our fast-paced, externally focused lives, we often lose sight of this inner sanctuary. We get caught up in the pursuit of identities, achievements, and validations, forgetting that our true essence is not something we acquire. It's something we return to, something we realize was there all along, waiting to be awakened. Every experience, from moments of deep connection to life's toughest challenges, is an invitation to remember this inner light. The true self isn't something we find by looking outward. It's a presence we reconnect with by turning inward. Our struggles, losses, and joys are like the chisels of a sculptor, shaping and refining us, gradually revealing the brilliance within. Each difficulty asks us to release the need for control, to let go of the illusion that we are defined by our successes or our failures, and to embrace the quiet knowing that who we truly are is already whole and complete. When we view life through this lens, we understand that nothing is ever lost or lacking. Everything is a part of our journey back to ourselves. Each moment becomes an opportunity to awaken more fully, to soften our attachments, and to deepen our awareness of the light within. As we grow in this understanding, life itself transforms. What once felt like obstacles now feel like sacred doorways, leading us ever closer to the heart of our true self. Finding our way home is not a destination but an unfolding, an ever-deepening return to the unshakable, luminous awareness that is our true nature. This journey is the ultimate liberation, freeing us to live with compassion, wisdom, and unbounded love, not only for ourselves but for all beings. Embracing this path, we realize that we are not just returning to our own light. We are remembering our connection to the infinite light that flows through everything, everywhere, always. This realization, this return, is the essence of finding our way home. Thank you for watching. If you found our content valuable, kindly subscribe, click the bell icon, and share it with your friends. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave your message below. May it bring light to those still wandering in the dark.